Okay, next I want to add some more content to my screen here. I say it's not the size I'm really going to make. The problem is on the print size is wrong. There is a reason why it's wrong, and it's to do with the fact that Photoshop doesn't know the resolution of the monitor I'm using. So you can go through a lot of steps and get it to do print size, but generally speaking, it's not very good at that. So I can get, that's around about the right sort of size that I'm after. Now if I want to put more things on here, it's not file and open, okay? Or it's not file and import, it's file and place. And there's two versions of place. There's place embedded and place linked. If I place linked, it just looks for the file I've asked it for and it makes a link to it. The advantage is it keeps your Photoshop's file smaller because it's only looking for a file that already exists. If I embed it, it takes that file and actually puts it as part of the Photoshop file. Now that means I've now got saved on my hard drive the original file and a second copy in my Photoshop document. So it means it takes up more space. So if you really are short of space, using place linked is a very good thing to do. But we want to use place embedded. It just saves a few problems, and hopefully you're not really struggling for space on your user space. Now I'm going to start by putting in the blood moon. I'm going to place that in place, and it comes in, and conveniently it is the right size, and I want to move it. I need to click on place, and I want to move it now to where I want it, which is at the top of the screen. Now you're already thinking, well, that hasn't worked very well. That's fine. We're going to come back to that in a minute, and we're going to look at how we can sort out getting these things in the right place. The two other things I want on here is I want a piece of text. So again, I'm going to place embedded. Two versions of the text. You can pick whichever one you like the look of. One was just produced in Illustrator in a sort of standard way, just using standard fonts. And that was quite straightforward to do. Or if you want something that looks a little bit scarier, then I did play around with that font in Illustrator and dragged it around a bit and made it sort of drag the bottoms and made it look a little bit drippy and changed the colours. And there's one there which looks different. So whichever one of the two you fancy. Okay, and I need to click on the tick here to say place it there. Okay, doesn't mean I can't move it again. Just means when I move it again, okay, it's happy where it is. So I need to put the tick to tell it actually want to place it there. And finally, on the front of here, we want to place an embedded image, and we want an angry, scary teacher, which we're going to put in. So there she comes. And we're going to move her, and she's going to sit right over in the corner. And we click on the tick to put her in place. So I've now got on my flyer 4 elements. I've got the background, which is a picture of the school. I've got an image of a blood moon in the sky. I've got some text I've produced in Illustrator, and I've got a picture of a scary teacher in the front. But what we can see is that these things aren't in the right place, and we'd like to move them around and play with them. What we're going to be looking at is using layers. Now you'll find the layers tab over here, particularly if you're on essentials. You can change the way that Photoshop is set up. So if I want to set it up for photography, I can click on that and it'll change the way this looks to be a photography setup, or I can change it back to essentials. So on the Essentials tab, Layers is here. And the layer box comes out and it shows me I've got the background, which doesn't have a name and is locked. The background always starts off locked. A blood moon, the Halloween flyer text version 2, and the angry teacher. It also shows me the order they're in. From the front, which is at the top, to the back, which is at the bottom. So at the moment, the angry teacher is at the very front of the image, with the text second, the blood moon third, and the background image last. Okay, so what I want to look at next is how I can use layers to help me to edit this image.